This is Sonic, and you're watching JD Frank 20.
You know, for Nintendo news, this is actually a fun topic, believe it or not. And it says that apparently Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity's developmental was a real pain in the grass. Well, basically, we know what that means. It was, like, really? Apparently, Breath of the Wild's grass was not an easy task to replicate. And what you're seeing right here is basically a still image of Breath of the Wild's grass alongside Age of Calamity's grass, and I can see why. You know, I never really noticed the grass when it comes to Age of Calamity because, first of all, how can you see the grass when you're swarmed by over 50 or 100 enemies at one given time? Most of the time, I really don't do the exploration thing because when I found all the Korok seeds, I just used the guide. You know, so I wasn't able to go around the entire area, maybe unless it was Korok Forest. Other than that, I never really noticed, like, wow, the grass looks beautiful here. Yeah, kind of makes, yeah, and then at the end of the day, you realize sometimes you can actually set that grass on fire when you see a swarm of enemies, and you set it on fire using a fire rod, which is ironic, because in the first stage of the first mission of the game, the fight for Hyrule Field, once you do the corresponding mission where you defeat a fire Wizrobe, if you're playing this for your first time, you obtain the fire rod, and then you use it, and most of the times you use it and fire it at that swarm of bokoblins, and you also set that area on fire. Yeah, and then you realize, wow, they put a lot of attention to detail on the grass. It must have been a huge pain. It must have been a developmental nightmare. It was confirmed that over half of the Age of Calamity developmental team worked on the grass alone on all the stages. Like, really? Like, wow, like, that's just something I really appreciate. I never noticed that. Because a lot of the missions you're playing are basically, you know, I understand, you know, it's basically Dynasty Warriors in a way, but you gotta realize this game takes place 100 years before the events of the Great Calamity in Breath of the Wild. So obviously everything in Breath of the Wild, it's a little bit more decrypted, certain areas that were battle sites. Where in Age of Calamity, they got to make everything a little bit more upscaled because, you know, the bad events haven't really happened yet on certain stages. And then you get to the later half of the stages where they put a lot of detail on everything. And not only that, on the grass, you never really notice the grass change, especially on the Blood Moon levels because the whole atmosphere is red. So you never notice that. You never notice the beauty of the grass. So most of the time, I never really go back to playing these older stages because they all have a level cap. Like this level right here, it's recommended you're at level 1 unless you're playing the Blood Moon mission, which is level 61. Even by then, all my characters are overpowered, so I never really play these stages. I like to play the more difficult stages to farm for weapons, farm for seals, you know, just to get certain abilities up. That's just the way I am. But this is a fun topic right here, like the fact that Nintendo puts that much effort in one game for grass on a game that's heavily combat based. It's not even a traditional Zelda game. A lot of people like to say, well, it's not a traditional Zelda game. It's not really truly open world. You're kind of locked into one level. Do this, do that. Yeah, you find Korok seeds, you find goodies, you find treasure chests. But it is still traditional. It is open world still, but you're just locked into that one specific region until you exit out and go to a next area, etc., etc. But yeah, man, it's really cool though. I can't believe that the grass really stands out. Like, really? Like, all this shit for the grass. Unbelievable. So apparently designing all the new elemental guardians, all the new elemental moblins, all the enemies, that wasn't the big undertaking. The undertaking was the fucking grass. Like, wow, that's just crazy. The fact that Nintendo goes the extra mile just for grass. Seriously, hell, my grandmother's backyard doesn't even have any grass. You know why? Because you can't really grow it over there, and during the winter time, you know, it's impossible because, you know, the winter, basically all the plants die out because it gets too cold out here. So that's why we don't bother going with grass, just leave it the way it is, with dirt. But, you know, she just got new plants just a couple of weeks ago. The backyard looks great. I haven't seen the house in over 2 years, but it looks great now. You know, I gave out an actual compliment and said, oh, okay. So she finally got that dream garden she wanted. Basically almost like a gazebo in a way. So that's pretty cool. I just wanted to bring that topic up because when you see grass, when you see how beautiful it looks, that's a fantastic job, and I'm happy. You know, I'm happy for the developmental team of Age of Calamity for going the extra length just for fucking grass. let alone the enemies, the gameplay. You know, like, I've always admired that, because Age of Calamity is one of my favorite games. I put a lot of time into this game, and I just want to send my special thanks out to the developmental team. Let me know what you all think about this. I understand a lot of you may not have played Age of Calamity, but I understand, you know, it's a fun game, you know. If you're following the Zelda Breath of the Wild timeline, it's a fun game to play, obviously. I don't give a damn what anybody else says. Look, I love the game to death. I put in over 400 hours into this game alone, because I love it so much. So much replayability, so much, you know, so many goodies to get. So let me know what you all think. You know, and I gotta go. Peace out.